Uh, I've been having this idea lately regarding AI technology and robot technology. Something I've always thought about with our stores was having like a night manager, someone who would just come in, post closing, like around closing time, so between 8 to 10 o'clock. That person will be coming into the stores, making sure everything is getting done. That should be getting done. The stores are in good places, and then potentially doing different tasks in the closed hours, and not necessarily during open operating hours. And it kind of ties into some of the thoughts I've had about, like, what if we baked all our bread at one location overnight and then shipped it out? If we prepped all our stuff at one location and shipped it out, kind of like a commissary type model, ghost kitchen type model. But this past week, Tesla had like a little production on their robots and how they can do certain tasks, yada yada yada. And in my mind, I was like, it didn't really click until like a few days later. I was like thinking to myself the same thing about stuff at night. I was like, wouldn't it be really interesting if during the night all of your prep got done for the day? All your tomatoes were cut, your onions were cut, all your fresh veggies were cut, everything was prepped that needed to get prepped, and all you had was like a little robot in like a storage room that would, end of the night, it's coming out, it's doing its job, it's just doing what's needed for the day, based on the AI, not just for the robot, but also like linked to your POS hardware, inventory. I mean, it could literally do an inventory. The robot could do an inventory count every single night while you're closed. I just thought that. Because I was just thinking, if you're baking, if you're prepping your stuff, and like you're getting your bread bakes going for the day, you're getting like that. I don't know. You get your bread bake started earlier, and I think that's where like it would help a lot of those subways a lot. You reduce a lot of your operational complexity by having something that is a third party, like a robot that can't call off sick. It may break, that is a reality, but you can flex back to like employee, like in person. How we can do the prep. We just let the robot do it. And then the same goes for like while the robot might seem a little bit farther away than it would need to be. Everybody else got a text when I'm trying to do a video. Sorry. The AI is something I've been like, it's been messing around in my head for a while. But it's basically just tracking. If you start a week on a Wednesday, for example, and you have an inventory done, you know what product you have, and Subway knows what product you've sold. And if you're using sub-ops, you know how much product you're prepping. And so the question is what are we even doing? Why are we just like not using the data that's available in the system, of being like, all right, well, if I do a spot inventory check right now on like a Saturday at 9 a.m., I should know without really any data manipulation. Like, it can just tell me, like, all right, from Wednesday to Saturday, on Wednesday you should have had 30 pounds of steak. By Saturday, you sold, this is the whatever list of whatever you sold that includes steak. And so that usage should be 10 pounds. So you should have 20 pounds. And the generally accepted variance is about 0.1 pounds. And so you do the inventory, and it's showing up as 15 pounds, and you go, well, that's interesting. And you start to, like, you can get it on a day that isn't at the end of the week. I mean, you could even literally do it every single day if you really wanted to. So if you say, I'm gonna do it in the middle of the week on like a Saturday, when you're having issues, you can just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna do it every other day, and then every day. Maybe I'll do it after certain shifts, and it really narrow down like where the issue could be. If you don't have a camera system, if you do have a camera system, you can tie the whole camera system into your inventory and product usage and tracking and everything, potentially. But yeah, it's that's where I'm thinking is like, that's a technology, that's a piece of equipment, the robot especially, that is, the robot kind of like makes you think like that's a piece of equipment that could fundamentally help a business get better results with less labor input, which would allow staff or crew to better engage with the customers. Heck, you can even have a robot that like knows how much product is being used. It knows how much is on the line because it's, as the line's getting put out, it already knows everything. There's cameras that are watching it, observing it, and if you need steak brought out, it's bringing the steak out for you. If you need tomatoes, it's getting that vein of tomatoes and it's walking it right out to you during your lunch rush. And I mean, personally, I like to be able to think when I'm working. But if you've been in business long enough, there's a list of about 100 things you have to think about while running a store. And it would be nice to like just not have to like think about some of those issues. The younger generation may suffer from this, but is it really a big deal? I don't know. Heck, maybe robots will make the subs too. I don't know. What the world looks like in the next 10 years, but that could be what happens. And then you don't really have to think about people not showing up for work. You own a business that's actually like a different kind of business. I don't know. That is an interesting thought I just now had. Anyways, I just want to get that idea out of my head because it was just like using AI technology to model and predict usage and understand your usage such that your usage is being tracked in stores. I have it set to block messages. Why is this a problem? Stop. Oh, this is a distraction. It was like, if you know what's going on, and then that data can be reported to Subway or whatever. It can be reported to your distributors, so they know how much is being used, what their models are going to look like, what needs to be ordered. The suppliers know what's being used, what's being, and then like also waste, tracking how much waste is being tracked Not just like sliced meats, because I know it's not being tracked completely. I don't think Subway really understands, like, okay, there's waste in the system. Like, is it preventable waste, or is it just waste because is it expired waste, or is it processing waste? You know, and then there's so then all the suppliers would know what's going on, like usage, wastage, preventable, non-preventable, from the distributor level, supplier level, Subway, franchisee, managers, everybody would know. And it's a wholly functioning system that's just running without a lot of, basically no input. It's rigging things out, it's tracking it, you know. So you could tie it across multiple platforms, so an AI, robotic, and camera system to all kind of tie that together, so that it's like a business that runs like a business. It just replaces people that, you know, for people to understand how much to prep or how much to do, and like they don't have to. If there was no robots, for example, like you could have a prep list that just print out every morning. This is what you need for the day. This is what you need for the next 2 days. So this is what you need to prep. You know, there's a plan for it. You know, this is what the weather's going to be. So it modulates it for the weather. And it's basically learning. The AI is learning from all the subways that want to be on the system, or it's learning from all the subways in the U.S. You know, it could be learning from all the subways in Pennsylvania. It just the whole AI learning thing could be. Like, it's just really a jerk move, car, to cut that truck off. Anyways, yeah, there could be a lot to it, and so that's where my head is at for that little project.